All right, I'm cooking some pork chops and some burgers, and there's a little fluff ball over there marching. Oh, he hates the camera, that fella. He's out of frame. Now, I don't know how much heat to use on these things. So, because it's pork and hamburgers, with pork, traditionally, you wanted to cook your pork pretty well done. Due to, I believe it was trichinosis or something. These days, I think that is pretty well not necessary due to the modern pork industry, but I could be wrong. But with hamburgers, you certainly want to cook them basically with higher heat. And the reason is, when you have steak or a roast or something like that, you can have it pretty rare, or like a nice rare prime rib. That's because most of the bacteria and other germs, single-celled organisms or viruses or whatever, are on the surface of the meat. So in the interior of the meat, there's very little in there, and as long as you get the internal temperature up to a sensible amount, you're generally fine. But with ground beef, of course, the surface of the meat is blended in and in and in and mulched and mixed and all that. So the bacteria and other germs are pretty homogenized within the product. So for that reason, hamburger restaurants, for instance, are not allowed to serve you a rare burger. It has to be pretty well medium or well done. Basically, the internal temperature of the meat has to be high enough to kill any potential germs that would result in lawsuits from people getting sick. Now, in your own house, you can have a rare hamburger and hope for the best, and a lot of people do. A lot of people will barbecue their own hamburgers, have a nice rare burger, and eat it. Or what a lot of people do, and in the Army this was a big issue, they would take steaks that are frozen solid and put them right on the barbecue, or put them right in the oven. When I was in the Army, this is what they would do. We'd get a truckload of steaks, and they would be hard as stone, and they'd just throw them on the barbecue, and it'd look cooked, but it was basically raw meat. Sometimes it'd be cold in the middle, if memory serves correctly, although that might be a false memory. But the idea is right. However, eating raw steak is not as dangerous as was once believed either, as long as, like I said, the outside of the steak or roast or whatever has been sufficiently cooked to kill the surface bacteria. Whereas you probably wouldn't want to do that with pork or chicken, which is not as sterile. So that's what's going on there. Burgers and pork, well done, or at the very least medium. What you're doing is you're just bringing the internal temperature of the meat up high enough to kill the microbes. Here, get out. Come on, you're not just sniffing either out or in. Go, get out. Okay, stop scratching on the door if you're not going out. I took this dog for a walk, and twice up by the pond we saw a rat on the way up and while we were up there. The first time he just ignored it. The second time he wanted to play with it. He thought it was a puppy or something, but he never got close enough to it. And he was scared by the ducks and the pigeons. So I bring this up because this dog has no hunting instincts whatsoever. he didn't know what a rat was. Most dogs deep in their DNA know that a rat is a terrible thing and that they should want to kill it. But this guy, he's 2 years old, so I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just he's been bred to be such a sheep that he's as sheepy as they come. And he hardly even recognizes other dogs. He doesn't seem to have much interest in other dogs, but he's very interested in hamburgers. And, whoops, he's a good catch, I'll give him that. If you throw something, he catches it in his mouth, so he's basically a walking stomach, which is what the word gastropod means, by the way. Gastropods, which include octopuses, squids, snails, slugs, clams, bivalves, things like that. Oh my. I think this will be fine as far as how cooked it is. But, you know, probably not going to be so palatable. I might want to throw this on the frying pan just to singe it up a bit and caramelize it a little. They don't look very appetizing is what I'm saying. But at least they're cooked. The burgers I don't mind so much. I don't really want to give the dog any of these burgers because I put a lot of salt and pepper on them, and I don't think pepper is very good for dogs. Quite honestly, I don't think pepper is good for doggies. But he's waiting for one, so I don't know. We'll see. I am kind of a softie when it comes to the dogs. Now, I did not compress these burgers and make them look like red blood cells. I did not do that because they're fine this way. I'm not going to eat them as burgers. I'm not going to put them on a bun. And I'm going to let them rest so they'll retain a lot of their shape. And if they're a bit meatball-y, I'm fine with that. So I just wonder if broiling these burgers and pork chops is a good idea, or if they should have been fried or something else. But I'm broiling them. I haven't done it before. I haven't looked into it. I'll assume it's probably fine. I've got 2 other burgers here that I may fry later. I may fry these, I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do with them at the moment. Anyway, gastropod, that's what it means. The dog is basically a gastropod as well. He's a foot, which is what pod means. And he's gastro, which is a stomach. So basically, gastro, stomach, pod, foot. A foot with a stomach. And from the biological point of view, foot just means it can move. Well, it does mean foot, but yeah. It's not what we would consider a foot. You look at a snail and you don't think. Check out the foot on that snail. Anyway, I think there's 5 minutes left or so. And we got about 3 minutes left on these chops. I'll probably put them aside for tonight, and then maybe I'll eat these burgers. The dog is getting pretty excited with the smell of the meat. But anyway, I figured I'd cook them. We'll see. Anyway, I'll most likely put up another video at some point today. I'll probably make some eggs and eat these patties with the eggs. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, till next time, who loves you, baby? This guy, don't forget about it. Remember, you're somebody's favorite person in this world. Probably mine. So, till next time, love you, and talk soon.